Florida governor and presidential candidate Ron DeSantis is being criticized for a mass shooting that happened over the Memorial Day weekend. On Memorial Day, that's Monday, 9 people, including children as young as 1, were wounded in what is again another mass shooting, this time happening north of Miami. According to CBS News, 9 people were wounded Monday evening when gunfire erupted along a beachside promenade in Hollywood, Florida, sending people frantically running for cover along the crowded beach on Memorial Day. The shooting happened on the Hollywood oceanfront boardwalk near a convenience store, an abandoned Jerry's ice cream store, and a Subway sandwich shop. Several children were among those injured, according to police spokesperson Deanna Beneneshi. And she said that 4 children between the ages of 1 and 17 were hit, along with 5 adults between the ages of 25 and 65. So again, here we have another random shooting. As far as I know, no fatalities. So at least that's one thing. But again, random shooting in the middle of Florida on Memorial Day. Now, that said, this is big news. It's national news. It's another mass shooting, which again happens all the time. Where's Governor Ron DeSantis? Apparently, he was too busy not talking about it. He's too busy doing his presidential campaign thing. That's right. Governor DeSantis, who was hosting a major event in Iowa on Tuesday, has not, of this recording so far, said a word. Not a tweet. Nothing. Not a statement on his government website. And it does not appear that he has spoken to reporters about this mass shooting. Perhaps, he's got to take time off eating pudding or, whatever he's doing. Terrible recordings with Elon Musk. I don't know. But, he's whatever he's doing, he might want to actually pay attention to things that are happening in Florida. But what do I know? So that said, his press secretary, by the way, decided to respond to some criticism here from California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom, who pointed out that DeSantis had recently signed a law to deregulate guns, specifically permitless carry. So now that would, of course, further expand the number of guns on the streets of Florida at a time where apparently there's already enough guns. Now, that said, important piece of context here. That bill does not go into effect until July 1st. So now, right-wingers think, Gavin Newsom trying to blame that law. It's not in effect yet. We had a mass shooting before this event. That's not the own you think it is. That is not something to crow about. Fox News reported, California Governor Gavin Newsom was fact-checked by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' spokesman after he blamed the Memorial Day shooting on Hollywood, Florida on laws DeSantis signed that are not yet in effect. Wow. Newsom reacted to reports of the shooting on social media, blaming gun violence on a bill DeSantis signed in April that eliminates the requirements for an individual to obtain a permit to carry a concealed firearm. DeSantis' personal spokesperson, Jeremy Redfern, on what he says is his personal account, tweeted, "Hey, Gavin, how does a law that doesn't take effect until July 1st change this outcome?" Well, I'll tell you one thing. Wouldn't have made anything safer. If anything, having this mass shooting happen before the gun laws being deregulated even further shows you that the gun laws in Florida were already too lax to begin with. So once that goes into effect, do you think it's going to get better or do you think it's going to get worse? Every single data point that you could point to from a credible source shows you that it's probably going to get worse. So now you've got more randos walking around with permitless, guns that are concealed. And everybody thinks that it's going to make safer? No. No more background checks. Everyone's, able to now walk around just, with their concealed handguns and all that stuff. Great. Wonderful. That's Florida for you. look, it's obviously it's going to be a disaster. We know this. The more guns you have, the more shootings you have, the more gun violence you're going to have. But apparently that is okay with Governor Ron DeSantis. That is okay with many in the right wing, because they're fine with more gun violence as long as they can have their guns and perhaps even participate in some of that violence and be justified in doing so, of course. So now, people on social media are going after DeSantis for ignoring this mass shooting while doing whatever the hell he was doing. 9 people were shot in Hollywood, Florida, and it sure as hell wasn't by drag queens. This is a brilliant response by one person on social media, given how Florida and DeSantis have been focusing so much on the woke. Well, it wasn't the wokers. They didn't do the mass shooting. The woke did not do the mass shooting. Okay, the woke does not do that. I don't know what else I can say other than it's not drag queens that are shooting people. It's not the wokeisms that is causing these mass shootings. No, it's lax gun laws. Obviously. I don't know how much more simply I can put this. I don't know. Okay, but anyway, look, more. In response, Ron DeSantis had laws changed so he could stay governor and run for POTUS, another social media user said. Meanwhile, he ignores what is happening in Florida. He hasn't said one word about this mass shooting. A 1-year-old was shot in his state this weekend. Ron, I think you should leave. Well, I mean, technically he is already in Iowa, so he might as well just stay there. Sorry, Iowa. Maybe you can have him. In response to another news report, another simply said, "Thank you, Ron DeSantis." Sarcastically. To all the DeSantis supporters out there, 9 people were just shot, and not one word from your precious governor, wrote another. Look, that's because Ron DeSantis doesn't care. He really doesn't. You know why? Because it doesn't affect him. That's it. It doesn't have an impact on his life, one way or the other, if you get shot. It just doesn't. He gets money from the NRA, by the way, and the gun lobby, and then when people shoot each other, his solution is more guns. Now, why is that a good thing? How does that help him? Well, he says more guns, so people go and buy more guns. When people buy more guns, there is naturally an increase in gun violence because more people have guns. When more people have guns and when more people are afraid and go buy guns, well, that increases the profits of gun manufacturers and the gun lobby, which then gives more money to Ron DeSantis. So this is an endless cycle of death and destruction that only works in certain people's favor. It doesn't work in favor of the average Floridian in this case, who's trying to walk down the boardwalk during Memorial Day. No, it works against them. But it works for the people who are powerful and who want money. That's what it always works for. And of course, by the way, the people who then take these guns that are deregulated and use it to do mass shootings.